All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. We are continuing the major market breakdown, looking at the Dow Jones and the DIA, the ETF equivalent. A lot to be scared about. Okay, that's a pretty devastating gap if it does drop. All right, and we'll get to the details shortly. But again, if you only hear one thing, it's be careful of that gap fall right there. All right, real quick, what are we gonna do today? Same thing we always do. Right, we'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how things are setting up short term. We have our five moving averages, these horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. So look, I often say 80% of the, oh, sorry, real quick. Hey, if you could please like and subscribe, it does really well with the YouTube algorithms. Even if you don't, look, I appreciate your time and I'm very, very glad you're here. And if you disagree with anything I have to say, please let me know in the comments, all right? I'm not here to pretend to be perfect and all knowing, none of that, right? Like, I would much rather you tell me in the comments than me lose some silly money because I was wrong, right? So it is definitely a two-way street here, all right? So let's get into the details. And again, I'm going to start with this. And let me go back to where I was going, right? So I often say 80% of the work really is up here, right? And I'm going to just zoom out. The way it should work, this just basic moving average theory, right? If you can break the 8, you'll break the 20, then you'll break the 50, then you'll break the 100, then you'll break the 200, then you fly. Okay, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I mean, look, I'm not going to zoom out even more, but we're clearly 1, 2, 3 under all five, right? We keep going well under all five. Then we break the 8, break the 20, break the 50, break the 100, break the 200, and it's been a pretty long time since we've broken the 200. This right here was probably the last time I even mentioned, hey, be careful of losing the 200, right? And honestly, it's been so long that like at this point, the Dow Jones has been wildly synonymous with over the 200 on the daily, which is huge, right? You're literally, once you're over them, it's you can see I have golden lines up here, right? That's the golden lines of trading. If it cracked into it, and it never did, right? But if it did, it would have been really, really nice. You'll see it on the weekly too. I think 3 or 4 up there that are golden versus this red death line down here, right? And it's been a while, and I'm not trying to even bring that up, right? What I am bringing up though is just move. Sorry, I keep zooming out and this thing's lagging a little bit. That's the view. We have, look, this 50 has been a beast, okay? And in a lot of ways it's not super wild, but there's been a decent oscillation on this thing, all right? And what I don't like is, okay, when this was happening, the green one was definitely going down, but there was still kind of this up on the 20. All right. What I'm now seeing is the 20 curving down, the green curving down. And let's be honest, that red one is no longer going up. It's kind of starting to go flat, and it's actually not even going flat anymore. It's actually starting to come down a bit, right? So I am legit worried this 50 doesn't hold and we drop, okay? Now, this 32.9 has been a pretty hard, you can pretty much call this 3,300 on the dot, right? That's been a pretty good line, right? I mean, a lot's been happening here. I'll give way more credit to the 50 than my actual line. This right here was clearly the line, right? So is this gonna hold? I don't know, right? And MACD at one point, dude, this thing is super laggy. Come on, was 700, right? Actually, yeah, 740. We're now in the 100. We've actually been in the negative not that long ago, right? And I'm kind of feeling like we might lose the positive, even triple digit MACD we used to have. Look, I don't talk about the MACD number often. I always talk about the RSI number. MACD should be positive, right? Like 0 is better than negative 50, right? And 100 is not as good as 700, right? That's just basic numbers right there, right? So there's a lot kind of showing. I don't know if we're oscillating anymore. And someone in the comments last week mentioned 32.8. All right, I very much said, and I said it, I'll say it again. If we lose 32.9, basically 33, I don't even think we're gonna touch 32.8. I think we fall all the way down to here. You know what I mean? So I am now, look, again, I'm not trying to like ring this horrible plummet bell, right? But I'm not sure if the Dow's staying over the 200 much longer, and that's not a good thing, right? It's been beautiful when it's been held up, and the last couple videos I do remember saying, "Hey, we need Nasdaq and S&P to kind of lift the weight," right? Because again, it's been a pretty long time since it's been over it, right? And nothing keeps going up, right? Like again, this RSI at one point, again, look how bad this is lagging. Come on. At one point it was 84, right? So we're back down to 55, and look, I can quickly see it coming down to the 30s if it really wanted to. So I am very legit worried. And what are the numbers? So look, 32.5 is the 100, 32.3 is the 200. I can easily see a wick to in between that at 32.4, all right? Sorry, I let go too early. All eyes are on 33,650. All right, 33,650. You're still over the 50 moving average. Once that falls, it's quickly coming here. So if you watch the S&P 500 video, if you watched the Nasdaq video, I was pretty bearish there. I don't use those words often. I was pretty negative on those. I'm pretty negative on this one too, obviously, right? So yeah. Let's look at the weekly real quick. Real interesting weeklies. Back-to-back doji week. Look, I say it all, and I mean, this is picture book doji, and it actually went a little lower than last week's doji, which does suck, right? But these are picturesque dojis. And what does the doji mean? If you watch my videos, it's literally the only candle shape I talk about. It really means uncertainty, okay? Because again, our 1, 2, 3, 4, we're actually over all 5 moving averages on the weekly. Huge, right? Because again, the way I said it is once you get all over the 5th one, you fly. And let me look at these golden lines of trading, man. I'm telling you, it was beautiful when we were here pre-January drop. Like you can literally look at the alphabet, throw 4 dots, pick those letters, and hit like 12% by the end of the week. It was silly, you know what I mean? So I would have loved to get back in there, and clearly it never happened, right? And right now, look, I know there's a golden cross right there. I know it looks like there's a golden cross happening. What's a golden cross? When a lower one breaks over a bigger one, right? 20 goes over the 50, golden cross, right? 8 over the 20 right there, golden cross. And then here's the opposite. When the 20 goes, dude, I can't say it, but like when this one goes over this one, that's a death cross, okay? Sorry, wow, I messed up those words, my bad. Nonetheless, though, back to where we're at. Back to back, I'm telling you, I think there's so much uncertainty that these two are going to gap down, and like I said, we're dropping here. And I mean, the numbers pretty much line up, right? So the 20 is at 32.8. And then the 50s at 32.6, right? These ones were just a little lower, right? They were at 32.5 and 32.3. Again, I think anywhere between 32.6 and 32.4 is pretty likely in the next week. You know what I mean? So I don't think this line's going to hold. And if this one doesn't hold, I think it'll be a pretty quick drop. Where are you at? You're at 32.7. Okay, maybe this will save it, but by the time you're here, you're probably a stone throw away from that, right? So, yeah, I think all things considered, that's probably the best I see on the Dow. Look at this lag. This is getting me a little annoying. I don't know. Reset this computer. Where are we on the monthly? Look, it's still just a little early, but yeah, we couldn't break that 20, right? And look, good things happen when the 8 and the 20 are going up. The very last thing I want are those two to go down on the monthly. I'm telling you, that's ugly. It never really happened hardcore on the Dow. Dow was always way better than the other ones. But if I just quickly show you NASDAQ, which took a pain, this thing's like already in the way of going down, right? And just in the little bit of it happening was a lot of drop. So Dow Jones never really felt the hurt. You know, it wasn't great, don't get me wrong, but you see it, right? It wasn't as steep, and it kind of recovered a lot quicker. So these need to both go up. Otherwise, if they keep going down on the monthly, that's a horrible weekly, and that's a devastating deadly, right? Devastating deadly. Wow, I try to correct myself. Devastating daily. Woo, okay, not doing well. Sorry about that. DIA, come on now. There we go. Okay, look, again, I'm not going to repeat the words. What I want to see is the DIA ETF looking exactly like the Dow Jones major itself, right? And it does. It looks like this one actually looks a little better. That's actually a little better of a candle. It did a what looks like nicer bounce on the 50. Oh, actually took the 20, but I mean, 50% candle would have been a little higher for sure. And yeah, again, I'm not liking the MACD's literally at 1 instead of the 100 that it was. But again, I guess this thing was only at 7, give or take, instead of the 700, which is actually really funny. But yeah, nonetheless, that looks like it's about to go into the negative literally a lot faster than the Dow is. This thing's actually still around that 50 number, so I do see it going down. And I mean, just look at the last couple days of volume. I don't think I talked about volume on the Dow Jones itself, but that's ugly. It's been significantly more selling than buying over the what am I looking at, 7 days there? So yeah, again, all things are really pointing to us losing a next major support line and just coming down to see what they look like. What's the weekly look like? Look at this lag, no bueno. Again, not as major dojis, but definitely still actually coming down. I know it's a green candle, but you can see week over week it does come down a little bit. Again, I'm actually ignoring that golden cross, and I'm actually believing it's going to drop a little closer to there. So again, I like that the DIA looks like the Dow Jones. There's not much more to say there. So hey, I sincerely appreciate your time. Sorry for the couple mistakes in my wordings throughout that. But one more time, hey, if you actually disagree with anything, please let me know. Otherwise, I sincerely appreciate your time. Hey, thank you so much.